power, passion, and death-defying piano playing. Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3 is more than an insanely difficult showpiece. It's the epic Russian romance you never knew you always needed. I'm Calvin Dotze, and this is the Houston Symphony's Classical Notes. Though Sergei Vasilyevich Rachmaninoff was born into an ancient aristocratic Russian family, his father squandered much of the family's fortune. By 1909, however, Rachmaninoff's musical talents and hard work had won him a successful career as a composer, pianist, and conductor. That summer, Rachmaninoff returned with his wife and 2 daughters to Ivanovka, his in-laws' country estate. In a letter, Rachmaninoff described how natural settings stimulated his imagination. "I go for a long walk in the country. My eye catches the sharp sparks of light on fresh foliage after showers. My ears, the rustling undernote of the woods. Or I watch the pale tints of the sky over the horizon after sundown. And they come, all voices at once. Not a bit here, a bit there. All." It was not long before the voices began to sing to him of a new work, his Piano Concerto No. 3. Rachmaninoff premiered it himself during his tour of the United States the following autumn. Despite its warm reception, the piece was not performed by other pianists for many years, no doubt in part because it is one of the most difficult concertos in the repertoire. Today, it is recognized as the Mount Everest of piano concertos, a test for all soloists and a breathtaking musical journey for audiences. The piece begins with a haunting melody introduced by the soloist. Years later, Rachmaninoff recalled, "It simply wrote itself. If I had any plan in composing this theme, I was thinking only of sound. I wanted to sing the melody on the piano, as a singer would sing it." A contrasting theme with a march-like character emerges as a dialogue between the strings and piano. It soon becomes lyrical and passionate in the hands of the soloist. The opening theme returns, but soon wanders off course. The soloist builds relentlessly to a harrowing climax. The music then dies away, leading to a cadenza, an extended passage for the soloist alone. The cadenza effectively doubles as a reprise of the main ideas of the movement, building to a monumental chordal version of the main theme. After the soloist reprises the movement's other main ideas, the orchestra re-enters for a brief, quiet coda. The second movement begins with a sighing theme introduced by the oboe. After the soloist enters, we hear a series of variations on this theme. Near the end of the movement, the variations are interrupted by a fast passage featuring the soloist. Beneath, woodwinds play a waltz-like melody derived from the main theme of the first movement. This becomes this, becomes this. After the orchestra reprises this movement's main theme, the soloist launches us into the finale. This rhythmic music recalls the tattoo of drums, marches, and fanfares. A vigorous transition leads to a more lyrical, contrasting theme. Soon after, the lyrical second theme from the first movement returns in a new guise. This becomes this. We then hear a reminiscence of the first movement's haunting main theme. The first movement's second theme then appears like a distant memory. The heroic rhythms that began the movement then resurface in the orchestra, driving to a reprise of the finale's main themes. Suddenly, a tense crescendo begins based on the main theme of the first movement. The eerie, brittle sound of strings col legno, playing with the wood of the bow, underlines the soloist's virtuoso feats as the suspense mounts. At last, the tension breaks, and the finale concludes with a climactic, soaring version of the finale's passionate second theme. This video features an archival recording of Rachmaninoff's Piano Concerto No. 3 as performed by soloist Yefim Bronfman and conductor Leonard Slatkin at the Houston Symphony's opening night concert in 2019. You can hear Rachmaninoff's third piano concerto and more great orchestral music performed by the Houston Symphony each week through Houston Public Media. Thank you for watching, and enjoy the music.